I have been with SLS for about a month and 2 weeks now.
Okay, awesome. So Johnny's been with our agency here for about a month and a half, and he's off to a great start for a new agent. So I wanted to bring him on today to help you guys really understand one, what it takes to be a successful agent in the business, and then two, the things that he does that you can apply to your activity on a daily basis in your sales presentation to help you have more success in final expense telesales. So Johnny works with me here, but anything that he goes over can be applied universally to your telesales process. So Johnny, what's
Mhm.
first off, what was the biggest challenge for you when you got into this business?
The biggest challenge was getting my setup ready. I did not have the software that was accessible for Vanilla Soft at first. So my biggest challenge was getting myself prepared with every setup that I needed to make the sales properly. And after I was able to have a new computer ready for me, the next challenge facing was phone calls. I have no experience in sales over the phone, and coming into the waters fresh was pretty difficult.
Was it
And
intimidating?
yeah, big time hearing different voices and different commands. People need different things, and I felt lost a bit because I wasn't too sure if I was good enough to sell them the product they deserved and the product they needed. And it's difficult acquiring to everyone's taste.
Hmm.
And I I come to still see that challenge day by day, but as I persist and stay consistent with wanting to help others, it teaches me a lot.
Yeah. So like, what's helped you? Oh,
Hmm.
by the way, guys, if you find value in this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to turn on post notifications because I have one of the very few channels on YouTube that specializes in final expense telesales, and that's really where the industry is heading now, away from face to face. So if you want to learn more about final expense telesales, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Make sure I have good content every time I put out a video, and it'll really, really help me to boost my channel. So, Johnny, what you ran into obviously, the technology thing is a big part, right? Because I talk to agents all the time. First off, who
Right.
they're like, "Oh, do I have to have a computer? What do I need for equipment to be set up?" And the reality is, it is sometimes an investment. You got to get a headset, you got to get a new computer if you need it. If you're starting out on your own, independent, then you need a CRM. In the all the tools and technology like VanillaSoft, right? You'd have to buy that on your own if you weren't with our agency. You have to buy leads, so there is definitely a financial investment. But most people getting in, if they're getting, they kind of understand that there, and that's easier to handle, I think. Than it's an easier solution than the fear, right?
I agree.
Because you just can't pay for that to go away. And that intimidation that you push through
Yeah.
is huge because most people don't push through that. So how do you push through that on a daily basis? How do you face that fear? What can help these guys here watching the channel make more calls?
Yes, I absolutely agree. It's an ongoing battle with staying disciplined on my confidence. Every day I jump on the computer, I have to tell myself this is work. This is a job. This is not something that I not something that I feel I should slack on. I should take this as serious as I would take anything I take serious. And in all levels of me learning from the product to how to sell to a customer, each detail is very important on being successful as a new agent.
Yeah. So like in terms of like when you're on the phone and you so for whoever's watching this who has that fear, right? Because most
Mhm.
agents they get so scared that they actually never make their first call. So like
Right.
what can you recommend to those people who have that fear? How can you maybe the mindset change or just kind of do it anyway? Like what do you recommend to them?
Well, you won't know how cold the water is till you step in, right? So, I feel I had to force myself a bit in order to want to keep dialing and keep listening, and It's not about me when it comes to the sale, right? I'm helping out a family, so I have every right to listen to how this person feels and what this person is going through. And that's what helped me a lot is to keep an open ear instead of thinking only about myself on the phone call. Of course, there's going to be 100 voicemails before the first answer, but that one answer might be the big time to really step up and show your confidence and try, and that's what counts.
Okay, cool. I mean, you can't be brave unless you're scared, right?
That's right. That's right. That's where the fear comes. And when the fear comes in, you got a couple choices, but a good choice is to always at least try and don't just run away from it. Don't turn around and look back. Look forward to the bigger picture.
For sure. About how many and have you ever had actually first this, have you ever had anybody say anything to you that would actually like make the fear make sense?
As in what way, Jess?
Like, I mean, like, so if I'm scared of a dog and I go up and say,
Mhm.
bite me, then that makes sense for me to be scared of dogs, right?
Right.
When I was scared to make call, I still get intimidated every time I jump on a call. A little bit is like a small piece that's a little bit intimidated sometimes. And like, but
Yeah, yeah.
I've never had an experience on the phone that's left me with like a traumatic event, you know? That's what I mean. Have you
Right.
ever run into something that made the
Right.
fear warranted? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. And I think what I've ran into that really showed me like I'm okay in what I'm doing is the fact that my knowledge about what I'm selling takes control over the conversation. So my fear can be put into the intro as in, "Hello, how are you doing, Miss Jones?" Waiting to hear that approach and waiting to see if this customer actually wants to talk to me. So that's where my fear would enroll in. But the breaking point is when the rebuttals come into play for me. When the rebuttals come into play, now I have the option to let my fear kick in and run away from the phone call and say, "Oh, you're not interested. I understand. Goodbye." Rather
Hmm.
than I roll with the fear and understand what I'm listening to and understand where my knowledge should come into play and say, "Hey, Ms. Jones, I know you're not interested, but I still have tons of information that I'd love to give to you." And
Perfect.
it helps each time.
Awesome. And the thing is, too, guys, like your clients are probably just as scared as you, if not more scared of you calling them
Right.
when that intimidation comes up because you're the big bad insurance guy at that point, right?
Right.
So, what did you do before this? How'd you get into insurance?
I had various jobs. Insurance was the last thing on my mind. I was so fascinated by hustling and every aspect of how I could just make money hands on. I like to do construction. I like to do restaurant work. I also did deliveries as a rideshare driver too. And I sat down to myself. I came to conclusions that I wanted to make a little more than what I was making. And I wanted to apply myself in a different manner. I wanted to be my own boss. And I started to research on a few jobs at home and what I could do at home. And I was lucky enough to find SLS, and I've been here ever since.
Awesome, cool, man. Well, I know you. I said, I hope you have a long career here, and I know you're on the path to doing it.
Thanks.
Just keep doing exactly what you're doing. Now, what's in terms of the sales process, what is a
hmm
challenge that you've run into, and how do you overcome it?
It's the close for me. I'll get through the whole presentation smooth, and when the close comes, I get a little shaky and that fear comes back in because I know that the payment is going to be asked for and the customer's not going to feel very trusting with me, doesn't know me, and I start to get a little shaky towards that area of the script. And what helps me to pursue the sale is to not only think about me wanting to make money, right? But I also think about we just spent 45 minutes on the phone. And if I'm gonna let the customer leave off the phone without a sale, then I didn't do my job right.
Hmm.
So I keep that mentality and I try to at least persist on starting a client with a minimum if I can. Sometimes it doesn't have to be so high, and I realize that not all customers can afford what I'm what I'm trying to deal with getting them covered.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to always hear that, not in a sense of I'm not gonna have a sale, but in the sense of they want to work with me as I'm working with them. So now
Mhm.
I don't take it as a no, I take it as what more can I do for you to not only close a sale, but to do the rest of my job.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah, and like, sometimes as a new agent, it can be scarier for someone to say yes than for them to say no. Because
Right.
if they say no when you quote them, it's like, whew, I don't get to do anything else,
Yeah, right.
right?
I
And if
agree.
yeah, and if they say yes, then you get this whole process.
Yeah, and it's more typing, the recording, that's right.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
what's helped you? Um, what are some ways that you handle different like what are the most common objections you run into, and how do you handle them?
Yes, the most common I would have to say is I don't remember. And
So this is in the beginning, you're saying the objections in the beginning.
yes,
Okay, cool, cool.
yes. In the
You can.
beginning, I get hit the I don't remember, I'm not interested. And right then and there is the perfect time to make the table turn and try and get to the customer's knowledge and try and see, well, hey, you're not interested, but what is it that you're not interested in? I have something here that's interesting and I'd love to share with you. And that's more so for the beginning for me. And as it comes to the sale, I think my biggest rebuttal is, oh, you guys are scammers. I don't trust giving out my banking. And it's awesome because on the trainings, on the drop boxes, on Vanilla Soft, there's so much details about what we sell and what can back us up. The rebuttals page, awesome. I love the rebuttals page. I always jump on there and leave it open once it's towards the close because I know that that rebuttal's gonna come up
Hmm.
and I can always tell them, hey, if you don't get it done now, you might have to get it done later down in line. Why not give me 5% of the trust now and 95% I will earn later down the line? And it's just always patting the situation towards the ending for me. That's how I do it, and it
Awesome.
closes the GIF. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, I mean that's we're actually running a training this morning. If after this, if you want to join up, Zach's going to be covering closing. I'll be there helping out too. So we'll cover that
Yeah.
and some
Definitely be
more,
there.
yeah, some more closing techniques for sure. What else have you run into as in a challenge in your sales? Like maybe is there anything in learning the products or underwriting or um, presenting anything like that that you can think of that's been a challenge and how you overcame it?
Yeah, I kind of take the punches as they come, and I'm not gonna say I'm built for it because every single thing is different to me.
Hmm.
I just have an understanding of I know this is a job for me, so everything that I'm being acquired to has an attachment to my success. So I take it nit by nit and I just move on forward. I take all of the details from our policy Dropbox. I take all of the knowledge from your YouTube videos, Justin. You know, the inspiring motivation that you bring to my life is another aspect that can help another person as well in this job. It can really show someone leadership skills, and I feel like that's what has to be applied to this job as well. You have to be a leader in your own heart in order for you to move the chess pieces on the board, and it works. People want to hear your voice. Maybe not the whole world would want to hear your voice, but that one person, that's all it takes to enjoy a 45-minute phone call with you, and it'll show you how good you really are as an agent.
Cool. So, and that's what it is. It's just like, hey, it's a race to get the next person on the phone. Like, what can I do
Yeah.
to get this next person on the phone, the next presentation, and what's
Yeah.
helped you keep a conversation going and build trust with the client? How do you approach that? Because sometimes I hear people just go through the script and they sound like they're interrogating someone as opposed to having a conversation. So, how do you keep it conversational versus I don't know, interview?
Yeah, you're right. I've had customers just hang up on me midway through my presentation, and I listen back to it, and I think about how I sounded, and you're right. It's it's a script, and we are actors and actresses. They want to hear the script, not necessarily saying they want to hear it automated, but
Hmm.
they want to hear the script as flowing, tonality, confidence, knowledgeable, and I like to read my script nice and slow because of two things. Now, now it lets the customer understand me very fluently for number one, and number two, it gives me the talk time, right? If I read it super fast, then I'd be at quote by 15 minutes with someone, and that's probably not going to get me the sale. But
Hmm.
if I read it nice and slow with tonality and confidence, I'll spend a nice half hour to an hour with the customer, and we would have both enough knowledge about each other to want to work with each other and pursue the sale.
Awesome, cool. So let's do this. Take out your script. Let's run through a little role
Yeah,
play
sure.
here. Okay.
Let me pull this over here, of course.
And guys, this is night and day difference to where Johnny would have been a month and a half ago. As if I was like, "Hey, we're going on my YouTube channel. We're gonna role play." He'd be like, "Ah, yeah, I got a cold."
Meow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. And now I'm ready.
That's right. You ready to rock?
Yeah,
All
big
right, cool.
difference.
So I'm gonna call you. So
All
you call
right.
me. Ring, ring. Hello,
Ring, ring, ring. Hello,
hello.
is this Miss Jones?
Yes.
Hello there, Miss Jones. This is Johnny with the Senior Life Services, and I hope you're having a good morning. How are you feeling today, Miss Jones?
I'm doing pretty well, thank you, Johnny.
You're absolutely welcome, and I'm glad to hear it. Miss Jones, once again, this is Johnny with the Senior Life Services, and I am the benefits coordinator for the state of such and such. And I was following up with you because you recently spoke with one of my agents about the state regulated burial program. Now, Miss Jones, I'm showing when we spoke with you that you were looking for protection for yourself, along with Johnny as your beneficiary. Does that sound about right?
Oh yeah, little Johnny.
Yeah, that's right. Go, Johnny,
Oh,
go.
Johnny here, Johnny Bravo. You got Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, hoo-ha, hoo, Miss Jones.
That's right.
Yes, and Miss Jones, let me just verify the information I have for you. Miss Jones, I have a spelling as your last name, as whatever her last name might be, right? I'd spell
Jones.
it out for her, nice and say, yeah, right. And then I'd ask her, Miss Jones, now you sound about 45. Usually I get a little chuckle there, and I'd say, Miss Jones, but how old are you today?
I
And she,
am 73.
ah, 73. Ah, you sound so young, Miss Jones. I would have
Thank
never
you.
noticed. You're welcome. And Miss Jones, I have an address here for you, but I would like to verify just so I could know where I'd be sending some mail or a policy to you today, okay? And the
Hmm.
address is 1919 Rose Flower Street.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent, excellent. Now, like I said, Miss Jones, I am the state licensed underwriter here in such and such, and my job is to go over the affordable options of the programs with you, determine some eligibility for you, and show you how to put some protection into place today.
Well, actually, Johnny, I appreciate this call, but I already have a policy.
Oh, wow, Miss Jones, and you mentioned you're covered?
Yes.
Nice, Miss Jones. Congratulations. And Miss Jones, when did you receive this coverage? Did you have this coverage for a long time or a short time?
I've had it for a couple years.
Awesome, awesome. And Miss Jones, would you happen to know if it was a term policy, a whole life policy?
I think it was a whole life.
Oh, wow, awesome. Congratulations once again, Miss Jones. Now, Miss Jones, were you looking for additional information about some extra coverage for for the rising cost of final expenses?
I'm not sure. I don't remember what I did this for, so.
Yes, Miss Jones, I understand. I don't even remember what I had to eat for breakfast this morning. But Miss Jones, I want to go over a little bit of some rapport with you and see if we have some good coverages here for you today, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, Miss Jones, let's start with a little bit and backtrack. Miss Jones, I see here you are 74. Is
Yep.
that correct?
Yep.
All right, Miss Jones. And I would imagine that you're retired and living the dream.
Yes. Yep.
Nice. Oh, I'm
Well, I'm
jealous, Miss
retired. I might not be
Jones.
living the dream.
Ah, it's okay. We're taking it day by day, Miss Jones. I understand. Life is hard, but we're gonna make it easy, all right, Miss
That's right.
Jones? All right. And Miss Jones, tell me a little bit about what type of work you used to do before retirement.
I was a school lunch lady.
Okay, okay. And was it for any specific type of grade? Did you do the
Well, no,
babies?
it was like middle school. I was a lunch lady. You know, we'd make the
All
sloppy
right.
joes and hot dogs and all that. So,
Miss Jones, you're making me hungry now, Miss Jones. All right, excellent, Miss Jones. And Miss Jones, were you ever married, single, widow, divorce?
I am married.
All right, awesome. And how long have you lovebirds been together for, Miss Jones?
35 years.
Ooh, long time, Miss Jones. Long, long time. What's the secret?
I don't know. Just communication, I guess.
Right, right. Yeah, I think I'm lacking of communication with me and my partner, Miss Jones. It's been a little rough for us lately, and if you have
Well,
any
hopefully you
tips,
can
I'd
turn
love to
that around.
listen. That's right. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Jones. I appreciate it. And Miss Jones, what do you like to do in your free time? Any traveling? You like to cook? Babysitting?
I like to watch TV.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, how about that TV, right? What do you like to watch?
I like to watch old westerns.
Oh, okay, okay. We're talking some classic films here, huh? 90s,
That's right.
80s?
Yep.
All right, nice. And I'm very familiar with those genres. I watch a little bit of Netflix myself.
Cool.
It's nice to binge. Yes, Miss Jones. And Miss Jones, do you have any babies, any children, any grandchildren?
I have a few children. Yeah.
Okay, awesome, awesome. A couple boys, a couple girls.
Yeah, one of each.
Nice, nice. Can the more the merrier, right?
That's right.
All right, and Ms. Jones, excellent. Thank you so much for discussing all of this information with me. I could talk to you all day long. And Ms. Jones, you were such a joy to meet. But let me go over some of the coverages that we offer and what we can get into place for you today, okay?
Okay.
All right, now, Ms. Jones, would this be a first policy for you, or am I adding on to something you already have in place?
This would be you're adding on to something that I already have in place.
All right, okay, yes, and thank you so much for choosing the Senior Life Services. And it's great that you love your family enough to look into additional coverage to help with the rising of final expenses. Now, I myself, Ms. Jones, am quite passionate about this because we are in the people business. So I just want to ask you, Ms. Jones, is it one of your goals to make sure that your beneficiary does not have a large burden to carry?
Oh, of course.
Right, I love that. I love that idea. It's a lovely gesture. It's something that I would do for my own. Awesome. And Ms. Jones, based on everything that you said to me, a whole life policy is definitely the perfect fit for you. And let me tell you why.
Cool. Let's go.
All right, Miss Jones. Now, all of our plans offer a number of benefits. First, the Senior Life Services works with many reputable insurance companies. We have many insurance companies design products for our customers' unique situations. They must be state and federally regulated and backed by the government. Ms. Jones, they are state approved whole life plans, which means that the premiums never go up and the benefits never go down, which makes sure that your beneficiary or estate won't have to suddenly come up with a wheelbarrow full of cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they are set up for people that are on a fixed income like SS and disability. And we can always find something affordable for you. The benefit paid to your family is 100% tax free, and unlike most companies, they pay out immediately, usually within the same day or the next day. And last but not least, Ms. Jones, we hold an A plus rating with the Better Business Bureau. Do you follow me so far?
Yep.
Excellent, Miss Jones, excellent. And now that you told me a lot about yourself and why this is important to you, what I want to do now is take some time to ask you some health questions. Now, whenever you look at life insurance or policies that pay for final expenses, you always want to be asked health questions because it allows you to get a plan with a lower rate. And I've been doing this for a long time, so I do not need to read every question off of every application. I know what company will be best just by asking you a few general questions. Ms. Jones, let's start with how tall are you today?
I am 5'2",
All right. And excellent, Ms. Jones, what is your current weight as of today?
138 pounds.
All right, excellent. And Ms. Jones, would you happen to have a primary doctor? And if yes, would you happen to know his or her name?
I do, but I don't know the name.
That's okay, Ms. Jones. And is your primary doctor from the city of you?
Yes. Yep.
All right. Excellent, Ms. Jones. Thank you so much. Now, Ms. Jones, let's dig in a little bit here. Ms. Jones, do you do any smoking or have you used tobacco or nicotine products in the last 1 to 2 years?
Yeah, I smoke like 2 packs a day.
All right, not a problem. Now, how long you been smoking for, Ms. Jones?
Like 37 years.
Okay, long time. Awesome.
Going
All
strong.
right. All right.
Keeps me young.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful, Miss Jones. Anything to keep us young, right, Miss
That's
Jones?
right.
I hear you. And Miss Jones, is there anything going on with major organs such as your heart, your lungs, your liver, or your kidneys?
No, nothing going on.
All
I
right,
work my lungs
excellent,
out every day
excellent.
with cigarettes.
All right, do a little bit of exercise, Miss Jones?
Say I work my lungs out with cigarettes.
Oh, okay. So you're pumping that smoke, as they would
That's right.
say. All right. All right. It's a interesting form of exercise, and thank you, Miss Jones. Miss Jones, any signs of congestive heart failure, COPD, Parkinson's, or seizures?
Nope.
All right. Okay. And Miss Jones, any Alzheimer's, dementia, HIV, or AIDS?
I don't think so.
All right. Yeah, I know it's a silly question, Miss Jones, but we gotta ask.
It's okay.
All right. And Miss Jones, are you a diabetic?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So tell me a little bit about that, Miss Jones. When were you diagnosed?
Um, 3 years ago.
All right. Awesome. And now, Miss Jones, are you having any complications such as neuropathy, retinopathy, or any tingling in the hands or feet?
No, I don't have any of that stuff. I know what that is, so I know what you're talking about. I don't have it.
Awesome. Okay, Miss Jones, thank you. And Miss Jones, are you taking any medications such as insulin, metformin?
Nope.
Nice, Miss Jones. I'm glad to
I just
hear it.
control it with diet.
Okay. So cholesterol?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All
No, no,
right.
no. Well, no, I keep my cholesterol down. I'm saying I control the diabetes with diet.
Okay. So you're eating healthy, right? Vegetables,
Hmm.
getting the greens in. Awesome. Lots of water, right?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, Miss Jones. Excellent. Now, Miss Jones, any COVID-19 in the past year?
Yeah. I've had COVID once, about 10 months ago.
About 10 months ago. All right.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
The
Okay. And
vid.
how was that like?
It was fine. I got through it. Just smoked a couple extra cigarettes a day, and it helped.
Okay. And how was quarantine process? Everything
It
was
was
okay
good.
with
I just
that?
hung out at home.
Nice. Awesome. Did you lose your sense of smell and taste, Miss Jones?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Good, because we need those, right?
That's right.
All right, Miss Jones. And Miss Jones, are you receiving any home health care, such as assistance with bathing, eating, dressing?
Nope.
All right, excellent. And Miss Jones, are there any signs of cancer in the body? Anything cancerous?
Nope.
All right, excellent, Miss Jones. Thank you so much for going over your health with me. And now, Miss Jones, I'm going to take a look at what you qualify for here. Now, there are a lot of different life insurance programs out there. And I know you get all sorts of stuff in the mail and see it on TV. So, for the purpose of describing how my product works versus the others, do you know the difference between term life insurance and whole life insurance, Miss Jones?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Term being short term, whole life being all the way up to whole life, right? And the reason I bring it up is because I want you to choose the best choice of insurance to have, because they're not all the same. Now, some are better than others, but you need to know the facts to make a sound decision that's right for you and your family. Now, I'm sure you receive letters from Globe Life and AARP offering term insurance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it'll often say that the insurance is good up to age 80. But what they don't tell you is what happens after age 80. Now, what happens is you lose all your insurance, no matter how much money you put in. So they keep the money, and you get no benefit. Now, the point is, why would you want insurance that may cancel before you go? Now, to make matters worse, Miss Jones, they actually raise their prices every 3 to 5 years. So what happens is they get you cheap, but as you get older and as your income becomes more fixed, they raise their prices. And then what happens is most people actually don't outlive it. They cancel it because they can't afford it. And isn't that just awful, Miss Jones?
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
Yes, Miss Jones.
Heaven
And
forbid.
I'll tell you, Miss Jones, it's very unfortunate, and a lot of my clients go through the same situation, and it gives me such an honor to want to help them out and be there to support them during these times, right, Miss Jones?
Yes.
Now, Miss Jones, I'm gonna go over three different. Well, I'm sorry, Miss Jones. The best company in your case will be Pioneer Security Life, and they have been around for 40 plus years, and they are state and federally regulated. All right. And Miss Jones, I'm gonna approve you for the maximum amount, which is 50,000, and the
What?
lowest amount
50,000?
50,000, Miss Jones. You hit the jackpot. And the lowest amount we offer is 10,000, Miss Jones. So congratulations, Miss Jones. You are approved for the coverage with us today.
Let's go.
Awesome, awesome. Now, Miss Jones, I'm gonna go over three different amounts that you will leave behind for your family, and each of these will be a significant help to make sure that your family doesn't have to have a GoFundMe or even have to ask for donations. I'll ask you to grab a pen in a sec, but first, let me try and get you approved for as many discounts as I possibly can. Now, first, we offer a discount based on any Social Security, disability, or retirement that you may be receiving in your home. Miss Jones, are you receiving any of those benefits?
Yes.
All right, Miss Jones, and what might those benefits be?
I get Social Security.
Okay, excellent, excellent.
Direct
Social
deposit.
Security, direct deposit, awesome. Going through the bank, and who are you banking with, Miss Jones?
Bank of America.
Bank of America, excellent. We have a lot of clients that bank there as well. It's awesome that we're partnered with them. And Miss Jones, what day of the month are you receiving those benefits?
The third.
All right, the third. Excellent, excellent. And Miss Jones, so now I'm gonna apply for all of these discounts that I have for you. And while I do this, I'm gonna have you grab a pen and I'll hold on, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then I'd wait. It'd be the wait a moment right there.
Got it.
All right, excellent, excellent. You got that pen, Miss Jones?
Yes.
All right, now grab your glasses if you wear them like I do. And if you don't, let's get comfy and get started here, all right?
Cool.
Now, let me give you my name again. My name is Johnny, spelled Johnnny, and I work here for the Senior Life Services. Usually I have to say that slow so she could just jot it down.
Yep.
And then I'd give her my direct number. My direct number is such and such, such and such, such and such. And then she'd confirm with me that she got it, and then I say, all right, Miss Jones, and I also want to give you my secretary's number because I never want any of your calls to go unanswered. They love this part. And then I'd say what her name is,
That's
then
great.
I'd mention her direct number, nice and slow. I would not suggest reading it fast because they will make me repeat it. And they'll make me repeat it just enough so they can make sure they got it. And After they get the number down, I confirm with them. Now I say, now, like I said, I'm gonna go over three different amounts that you will leave behind for your family, Miss Jones, and each of these will be a significant help to make sure that your family doesn't have to have a GoFundMe or even have to ask for donations, right? I'm gonna have you write down these three amounts. And I tell them the three amounts: 25,000, 15,000, and 10,000. And a little trick that I like to do here on the script, I see that it says just 25, 15, and 10. And when I approve them for 50, I like to say, Miss Jones, if you were interested in the 50, I'll be glad to tell you that last so you could jot 50,000 down too. Put it right on the top of that list for me. And then I'd start to go over quoting her on preferred based on her health today, right? So I'd say, now, let me go over some coverage with you, Miss Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Now, 25,000, I would read this part super slow and going on forward. So I'd say 25,000 will leave your family with 25,000 if you pass naturally, and 50,000 if it's totally accidental and out of your control. That accidental death payment also pays if you have an accident that leaves you injured and unable to do it yourself. Your policy will also help with a 30 to 40% discount on medications, glasses, contacts, and diabetic testing supplies should you ever need those benefits as well. Ms.
Awesome.
Jones, we aim to help you regardless of what life may bring your way, and it will be there in the need of nursing home coverage or confined care treatment. And finally, should your doctor say you have 90 days or less to live, you will no longer be required to make any further payments on your policy, and we will pay it out immediately for you and your beneficiary or estate to make those more pressing decisions. And that 25,000 is only, and then I say, let's say it's $200, so I'd say, and that 25,000 is only 200.
Awesome.
Now, if it's like 213, 220, I don't really say 220, 213, because it just sounds like an extra large number. So I'd say it's only 213, 212.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the change amount, but I don't add in the change there just so they don't like think about the cents. They think
Yeah,
about the
it's too
whole
much. Yeah.
value. Yeah, it like throws them off.
So you give
And
three
then,
quotes. So say you go
right.
through the others. Now we'll go to the end. Say that I tell you, I got to think about it. How do you handle that?
All right, Miss Jones, and I understand you gotta think about it. Now, Miss Jones, I have to think about a lot of stuff in my life too. And a lot of the things that I think about, Miss Jones, in my life are my bills, right? Miss Jones, do you have any bills?
Yes.
Yes, Miss Jones. And those bills have a due date, I would imagine, right, Miss Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Miss Jones, one thing that I want to say is that when we pull this off, we are set in stone and we are covered for life, and you wouldn't have to repeat this step with another agent again. Now, here's the problem when we hold this off, Miss Jones. When we hold this off, the rates will fluctuate. They'll get higher. When you hang up this phone call with me, Miss Jones, you will be searching for another agent because you need this. And Miss Jones, I just want to earn 5% of your trust today and show you that I'm here to hold your hand the rest of the way. And if you can give me 95% of your trust later down in the line, I'd appreciate it. But what I would appreciate more is if we would come to a conclusion today about helping each other out and showing each other what we really need. And Miss
Cool.
Jones, I think this would be the perfect fit for you. And I'd give him
Awesome.
a moment of silence and I'd let him still think about it. And my rebuttal skills, I'm still working on it as I'm trying to,
Yeah.
really cater to the customer because I don't want to sound too pushy and make it sound like I'm trying to
Well,
make
let me
money.
help you here. Let
Yeah.
me help you with that. So first thing, what we're gonna do is two rebuttal trainings that I want you to go through. Okay. So
Yep.
I want you to go through the greeting training in the Dropbox folder. By the way, if anybody's watching this, and you want access to my training folders, just reach out to me, jve@thejve.com. They're not going to be free. I'm going to charge you for it, but you can have access to the stuff that my agents have access to. Johnny is using a different script than what I train on in the Dropbox folder. The coach he's working with under me had him start using a different script, but it's a little bit different in terms of where the rebuttals are. But Johnny, so first thing, What
Hmm.
I what I think first thing what I think is you totally crushed that. Like you did great. Your tone's great. Your tempo is
Thanks,
good.
Justin.
Good job,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Super,
Means
super
a
proud
lot.
of you.
Thank you.
Crazy improvement since when you started.
Right. Yeah.
One thing that I found helped me in the greeting was when they already have insurance. Instead of asking what they have, just agree. Just be like, hey, no worries.
Okay.
Look, most people I speak with already have insurance. They find this pretty valuable, and then
Right.
keep going
Right.
because a lot of times what will happen. I heard this shadowing an agent the other day. They were like, well, what do you have? And the person's like, well, I don't feel comfortable telling you that. Right? There's resistance because they weren't
Yeah.
far enough through to build that rapport. So after you're done talking to them and having a little conversation where you build the rapport, then then after that is a good time to ask them what they have because they're comfortable with you. They've already had a conversation with you, right? So once they've opened up to you, that's a good time to do that. Now I understand it may feel like a waste of
Hmm.
time if you go through and someone's like, and you have that, 5 to 10 minutes of conversation, and then they tell you that they have something, and you're like, man, I could have just like figured that out before. But the thing is, most of the time, people don't even know what they have. So if they tell you they have something, chances are there's a good chance that what they say they have isn't actually what they have. And then two, if you just jump to that too quickly in the beginning of the script, you're going to get way more resistance and you're going to get less presentations in and you're going to lose sales because of that. So right
Yeah.
in the beginning, when someone tells you they already have insurance, super simple. It's right on the rebuttals page. Just
Hmm.
just go, just say, and if you guys want access to the rebuttals page, just check the link in the description of the video. I'm also going to put a link in the description of the video in a pinned comment for you to get access to my Dropbox training folder. So, which has all the courses that you would need to be successful doing this. But you so just use that, right? Hey, I already have insurance. No worries. Most people I speak with already have insurance. They find this pretty valuable. Now the second thing you can do that can help with handling because there's only two places we get objections, right? In the greeting, it's not really an objection, it's a complaint. It's not even a complaint, it's just like pushback. It's not even real, right?
Right.
So the second place we get objections is in the close when we're asking for the money. Okay, that's where the real objections start to come up. Now, what I want you to do is go in Dropbox, go through the closing folder for the closing course in the Tier 1 script training. Tier 1, it's in the training courses and
Hmm.
courses folder, Tier 1 script. And you go and click in that folder, and in that folder, there's a closing thing. Now, the script that it's on is different than the one that you're using, but the principles can be applied universally. So go if you go through that, and actually, if you can be there with Zach today, going through the closing training, you did that very very well considering you were on the spot, and I just hit you with it. So the fact that you like did that, it shows me you're practicing. It shows me that you've been implementing those things, and it shows me that like you're on top of it, and that you're a student of the game, and you're learning, you're getting better. Which this is like night and day difference from the Johnny that I met 5 6 weeks ago, right? So
Hmm.
you're going to see two different closing techniques in there. One is the rebuttals page. The other one is called a loop, where what we do is we go through and we evaluate what that client likes, or what if they like the program, if they like us, and if they like the company. So it sounds something like, Johnny, you tell me I'm not interested. I say, hey, no worries. Let me ask you a question. Does the program make sense to you? Like, do you like the idea of a program like this for Johnny? For
Yeah.
Does Big Johnny like the idea of a program like this for Little Johnny? And you're like
Hmm.
oh yeah, it sounds good, right? You say exactly. Now, so what we're doing there is we're asking them on a scale. Essentially, we're saying on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like this, right? And if they're like, we don't say that, but we say it in other words. We say, does it make sense to you? Like, does it in that type of tone? Johnny, does this even make sense to you? Does a program like this like can you make sense of this whole thing? And if they're like, well, yeah, then great. You know that they at least like the product. And then it usually comes down to trust, and that's a trust issue. So after they say yes, you say exactly. Now the true beauty of this program is that unlike most plans out there, this one has that nursing home benefit I discussed, where if you're ever in a nursing home, XYZ, and then you could talk about another benefit like the terminal illness benefit. So what we're doing is we're reselling it a little more, right? Boosting that product's value a little bit more. And then you say it's a great program, right? You say, yeah, exactly, it's awesome. Then you say, now, Johnny, let me ask you this. Now, if Johnny came up to you, right? If your son Johnny came up to you and said, hey, Dad, I'm going to need this type of money when you pass because I don't have it, and it's really going to help me. And even if I do have it, I don't want to have to come out of pocket for it. So if Johnny came up to you, Johnny, and told you that, would you be more like you'd probably be
Hmm.
like, okay, cool, let's figure it out and let's see what works, instead of being like, oh no, I got to think about it or wait or something like that. Am I right? You'd probably be more prompted to take action if your son asked you
100%.
directly.
I agree.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
Now that I can understand. Now, I don't have a track record with you like that, but let me reintroduce myself. My name's Justin. I'm with Senior Life Services, and I pride
Mhm.
myself in the ability to go the extra mile for my clients. I've been doing this for over 5 years, Johnny, and most agents don't last 5 days, never mind 5 years. There's a 92% fail rate in the first year of this business.
Wow.
So what's that mean? I'm here for my clients. I care about my clients, and the only reason I've been successful is because I do take care of my clients. And
Mm.
actually, at the heart of all of our success as our whole agency, Senior Life Services, that's what's at our heart is our desire to take care of our clients. We file millions of dollars in claims per month, and we only sell final expense life insurance. So you know that when your family runs into that situation, when you do pass, that this is going to be clean and clear taken care of for you, Johnny. Okay. And so why don't you do this? Why don't you start with the $10,000 program, Johnny? It's only going to be $98 a month. You can always
Okay.
increase in the future, but you know, as soon as you start, you can finally start checking this off your list. That sound fair enough? So
That's
you're going to
fair.
see just how I did that in that course. And then also after that, then we start to use the rebuttals page. Okay. Another thing that can help you, and I'm really, really glad we did this role play here. Another thing that
Yep.
can help you is you can go through so one thing is so one thing that can help, and this is some more advanced stuff, is there's some slideshows in the
Hmm.
main Dropbox course. Now you can use those to learn how to ask some more probing questions. Okay, so what do I mean by that? It's like this. So I'm saying, Johnny, do you want this to cover so you want to dig in for the why. This is really going to help you make more conversions. So I'd say, Johnny, now, do you want this to cover a funeral, a cremation, or something else like a gift to a loved one?
I'd say let's do cremation.
Okay, gotcha. And what does your
Hmm.
current plan look like to take care of your cremation, Johnny? Do you have anything in place?
Nothing in place.
Okay. Now, if something happened to your, if some say something happened to you today, right? You passed away today. What type of financial strain would that put on your son?
Now that I think about it, it would be a big financial strain.
Yeah, what would he do for the money?
Wow, I would. I'm retired. I might have to work again.
Well, I'm saying no. If you died, right, and then he
Uh-huh.
couldn't, if you died, and
Hmm.
your son didn't have the money to pay for this, what would he do to get it?
Wow, he would struggle. I wouldn't even
Okay,
imagine.
yeah, are you okay with that?
I don't, now that I think about it, no, no, sir.
Well, why not?
Because I want to provide for my family. I want to make sure I'm not leaving a burden on my children.
Exactly. Now, how would it feel to be able to actually finally take care of that for him and know that it's taken care of?
Ugh, that'd be a chip off my shoulder. I'd be able to relax.
Awesome, cool. So, does it sound like maybe a program like this, a final expense plan, could be the answer to that for you?
100%.
Awesome, cool. And then you keep going through the presentation. So there's a
Yeah.
series of questions in there that you can ask like that that can help. So you see how I kind of backed you into an emotional corner of where now you want it, and you told me why you want it.
That was well needed. I can't lie. Being a new agent, I've still seen so much details, but still there's so much more. And
Oh,
that's
dude, yeah,
that's what I meant. It's like it's so much to learn, but it's awesome learning every aspect of it. And thank you so much. I needed
yeah.
to hear that. That was awesome.
And this is real. This is real stuff. Like I brought
All
Johnny
right.
on here. You know, he's 6 weeks in. I don't expect him to be have his present. I don't expect him to be perfect. He did a tremendous job. You did a tremendous job, bro, on the amount of time that you've been here and
Thank you
what
so
you've been
much,
doing.
Justin. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's really at that 90-day mark when you're going to start to see everything kind of assimilate. So you guys got to understand,
Mhm.
Johnny's a spring chicken, right?
Mhm.
It's like he's 6 weeks in. First week or so is in training, and then he's just out here every
Mhm.
day grinding, every week he's getting a little better. So, Johnny, some things
Thanks.
that you can, some things you can take home today to practice, and we all appreciate you being here. And guys, if you want to what I would recommend doing is if you want to get in touch with me or Johnny, check out my email in the description of the video. If you're interested in working with us here at Senior Life Services, just check the link in the description of the video. You can watch another video that covers the opportunity that we have here. And also, you don't want to miss this next video coming up. You're going to learn a lot of good stuff from this. Do not miss this video. You're going to want to click to watch it.